Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this latest edition of Tales from Outer Space. Hope you enjoy. Story number 1. Bonk, written by H.S. Galactic. Bonk, Anna Asha, High Priestess of the Eternal Light, Slayer of Gods, Champion of the Chosen, Bearer of the True Eye, Mother of the Shadow, the Unforgiving, could not fathom what had actually happened. Not only did the primitive being didn't immediately fall to its knees in front of her, like every inferior creature with a single speck of sense would do, but as she ordered her chosen one servants to seize it so that she could add the strange creature to her collection. Its hand reached down towards the ground and seized a piece of wood that was lying on the ground and smashed it in the head of her servants. They ceased to move. She tried to make sense of what she just witnessed. Of course, no portal had ever been made to this world. The Oracle had been pretty clear on how untapped the space would be. It would explain why the creature wasn't afraid of them. What didn't make sense was why it didn't crumble in awe in front of all the grace, all the beauty, all the might, and all the magic surrounding the Chosen One. That thing was wearing a pelt for night's sake, while they were wearing cloth for woven dream, tailored by the tamed nightmares of the Umbral Valley themselves. Its features were so strange, too. The ears were short and round, unlike the long and thin the Chosen Ones were gifted, and the same could be said for the nose. But the jaw, like the shoulders, was wide and square. It definitely looked strong, but seemed oblivious to the magic emanating from her. After all, she had never met a primitive being that didn't either scream or freeze in panic. She was still under confusion when she noticed her first Zediot advance towards the primitive. Of course, while she still had many questions, and the best source for answers would be that sorry excuse of a sentient, it still deserved to die for what it did. No one could kill the Chosen One and expect to live to speak about it. She calmed her mind and her heart to enjoy what she knew was coming. Her first Zediot going into action was always a wonderful show. Death followed him in every step he took, as he unsheathed these blades, the twin fangs of the primal shade. Every moment he made was enveloped in a deadly grace that he'd engraved his body with, in the hundreds of years he spent in the monastery of the Seven Way. She almost felt sorry for the poor thing. While her first Zediot could be so fast at killing that his victims were dead before being aware anything had happened, he could also do it very slowly, so that you had enough time to reconsider all the life choices that had led to that moment, and regret all of them in the process. The second option was reserved to those too stupid enough to stand in her path willingly. Yes, the poor thing would suffer an excruciating agony under the hand of the first Zediot who... Bonk. The second time in less than a minute, Asha found herself abashed by a situation that she could not grasp. This primitive, this creature, this thing dared to stand against her, and took the most precious thing she had, the father of her 2 daughters, one of whom had already made 2 assassination attempts against her mother. She was so proud of her, her most faithful servant, the one who always was standing by her side. And it used a piece of wood. It wasn't even a weapon. It was a branch lying on the ground, a stick. Even the clubs the trolls used had a minimum work put into it. Confusion was immediately changed into pure rage. She removed the patch that was covering her left eye and pulled out the being of pure darkness that was nested in it. Nile-el-Vaf, the weapon which ascended to sentience after drinking the blood of 2 primal gods. It took the shape of a dagger, and Annie Asha used it to slit open the palm of her hand, quenching its thirst for blood and ensuring it would obey her. Yes, her first Zediot was the one of the best warriors ever born, but she was the High Priestess of the Eternal Night, the Mother of the Shadow, and she would not hold back against that thing. As she gathered the power, her surrounding shadows all started to bend in her direction, and the light of the day started to dim in the whole area. Finally, she could see the face of the primitive showing concern while looking at her.
Yes, you stupid animal. I am the closest thing to death itself you have ever encountered, and you made me mad. Oh, I'm not gonna kill you. I'm gonna find everything you care for, and I will destroy it in front of you. Everyone you love. I'll make them scream in a long, painful agony. A beautiful melody for me to enjoy. Well, you begged me to take your pitiful mortal life instead. Every dream you had, every hope you have, I will crush them. And even when you will be nothing but an empty shell, death will not come for you. You will be left as a warning, a reminder of what happened to those that go against me, Asha, the slayer of gods, high priestess of the eternal.
Bonk. End of story. Story number 2. Galactic Buffet Etiquette. How Not to Worry. Beginning playback. Title screen. Galactic Buffet Etiquette. How Not to Worry. Title screen fades to a panning view of a herbivorous buffet-style food line before settling on a human wearing black-colored shirt and slacks and a grey apron and a paper hat. My, oh my, does that look tasty. Hello, I am William Smith. You may know me from such informational films such as Prey, Not Always Harmless, and Your Poison Isn't My Poison. There is one constant in our ever-expanding galaxy, that is that any and all species require nutrition. While there are a couple species that are able to acquire their sustenance via photosynthesis, the vast majority of us require something a bit more substantial. Video switches to show an assortment of dish sizes, and everything from tiny plate with a few berries and a couple leaves to a massive bowl overflowing with various plant life. Some species only require just the minimum for their small statures and slow metabolisms for their individual meals. Others require a bit more with some variety in their dishes. Some require only one meal a day, and so they eat a decent amount. Yet there are others who require far more than the rest. Video switches back to the human walking along a separate food line, this one filled with animal products. Not all species are strictly herbivores. There are quite a few fellow omnivore species who, alongside with consuming plants, also subsist their diets with animal products. As this is considered a mild affront to some herbivorous species, it is quite common to have separate rooms for all different diets. Well, it often isn't required, depending on the establishment. It is common courtesy for omnivores to go through the herbivores line first, before getting their full animal product and to consume it in the secondary dining area. Lastly, in a galaxy there are 2 species of obligate carnivores. While they can benefit from eating some fruits and vegetables, their diet primarily consists of meat. This can vary between fully cooked to entirely raw meat product. While it isn't uncommon for the establishment such as this to serve meat, it most often must be requested by the customer as to not disturb others as they make their own way through their serving lines. So if you're craving some meat with your meal, don't be seared, simply ask. So remember, if you see someone with too much or too little, fret not. It may be entirely common for them. If you keep this information in mind as you make your way through the buffet, you won't ruin someone's day. Please join me next time with Watch What You're Drinking. Scene fades to a rather colorful logo of an insectoid creature and a paper hat, presenting a plate of multicolored leaves and berries with the words, "Brought to you by Zyzo Eateries. You want food? We have it. Any questions?" Before fading to black. End of story. I'd quickly like to thank the T5 channel members and patrons. Caspar Arnholtz, Cam Maxwell, Lord Azrakal, Dragzoon WRE, Holly Sister, Ambrose Cattell, and Quantum Wednesday. Thank you very much.